Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dad Bod Pod, a place for men to learn, grow, and live the healthiest life possible. We are your hosts. With me today, I have Zach. Anthony is actually traveling, but we're excited to talk to you guys today. We have a badass episode, and we're going to dive deep into nutrition for you. So this is one to keep your ears open for if you are struggling with nutrition in any way. So we hope you get a lot of value out of this. And if you do, please take 10, 15 seconds out of your day. Drop us a review, man. That's what helps grow the show. We don't run ads. We're never going to run ads on this show. We respect your time too much to do that. And we grow our show organically, man. We grow this by word of mouth. And so if you can possibly leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate that. If you're a new listener, highly encourage you to go back and check out some of the prior episodes. There's a ton of valuable information there to help inspire, motivate, and give you the knowledge you need to become the healthiest version of yourself. And if you're a longtime listener, again, always, thank you for being here. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you supporting us in our mission to make the biggest impact we possibly can in the male obesity epidemic in our country. So with all that said, we are going to dive into some nutrition today. We know that every single one of you guys out there knows how to eat a damn good burger, some pizza, some tacos, but we want to help you kind of navigate the world of nutrition, cut through some of the nonsense so that you have a little bit more clarity on how you can make this work for you, because our approach to nutrition is very simple. And you're going to hear that from Zach and myself today. So, if you need to take some notes, this would be a good episode to take some notes on, because the reality is, man, the more simple that you can make it, the better success you're going to have quickly, so that you can start feeling better. Because the reality is energy, high energy level is the foundation of good quality of life. Like, if you're not getting out of bed every day with soaring energy levels, you got to fix some things, and nutrition is definitely one of those things that needs to be a top priority to fix. That we are what we eat. There's a reason that's one of the longest sayings in the book. And I don't know what the book is, but I've been hearing that since I was a young buck myself. And so, there's a lot of truth to that. So without further ado, let's dive in. Zach, what's up, my man? How are you today?
What's up, man? I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about the whole nutrition side of things, because it's so damn important when it comes to nutrition in regards to your fitness journey. And I just like you, man, I like to keep it super simple, because the more simple it is, the easier it is to adhere to. And adherence means results. So I'm looking forward to this one, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I'll just, I'll kick things off and just kind of piggyback to what you just said. The reality is most of the guys that tune into this podcast, man, they want better results, right? We all want better results. If you're listening to a podcast like this, it's not likely that you're here to to get this kind of information, knowledge, inspiration, motivation, whatever you want to call it, and not do anything with it, right? Like, it's about taking action and getting results. If you want to go tune into a podcast where you don't need results, there's a millions of them out there. I don't know about millions, but there's a lot of them out there, and we want to help you cut through some of that. So love that you talked about results, because the reality is, when I first started my journey, and we could talk about that, we'll just go here, is like, dude, I tried the fad diets. I tried the nonsense, the keto, the Whole30, paleo, all those things that simply aren't sustainable. And as well as I do, man, like, if it's not sustainable, it's not for us. That's the way that's one of our core values with what we teach. And so I definitely think, one of the biggest frustrations for me when I started my journey was how overwhelming nutrition can be. And so I'll just tell you, the one thing that really helped me was really starting to simplify the process and trying to eliminate a lot of the moving parts. We hear this a lot, and inside of our private programs as well, is like, variety. And I think that there's some value to having variety. Nobody wants to eat the same boring foods every single day. But I also think eliminating some of those moving parts, I call it, my go-to meals. And I know you do a lot of that same stuff too. So, what is your take on that? Because for me, having, what my wife and I do right now is we really, I would say Monday through Thursday, we eat pretty much the same thing for dinner every single Monday through Thursday, which has allowed us to eliminate a lot of the guesswork. When I go into the grocery store, the reality is I basically have my grocery list memorized on a week-to-week basis. So what is your take on that?
Dude, I was literally about to say that. It's not about that. I eat pretty much the same things, but it's more so related to my grocery list. It's pretty much the same proteins and vegetables, fruits, and all that other good stuff on rotation.
Yep.
It just keeps everything so damn simple and easy.
Yep.
And on our last coaching call, actually, somebody said, hey, man, it's kind of a problem for me because I like variety. And I said, look, dude, if you start changing up the technique in your cooking, I said, that's when you start like, spending hours and hours and hours, in the kitchen. And you're like, now that's when you start hearing those excuses of, I don't have time. Right.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, look, the best way to go about changing it up while still sticking to the same grocery list is change up your combination of spices, man. When you start changing technique of cooking, oh man, now we're talking about hours and hours and hours. But when you just change your spice combination, it completely changes the flavor profile and you spend the same exact amount of time cooking. Quick, easy, in, out, and you're ready for the next few days.
Yeah, no, dude, and I love that. And you mentioned the word rotation because that's very much the same concept we have, man. It's like, the reality is, I think when you have too many moving parts and when you have to commit too much time in the kitchen, right? It's one of those where, look, I love variety too, but if I have to go in and spend 45 minutes to an hour making this like fancy, nice dish, and I remember from the coaching call, like, you go spend an hour to make this damn thing only to eat it in 5 minutes. It's like, holy shit, does that really even make sense? And I think that, that's where a lot of guys get caught up with, man. It's like, how the hell am I going to keep this simple, but also know that the foods that I'm eating are nutrient dense? And so let's kind of shift gears because I think knowledge is power. And when you already know ahead of time, like, look, the bottom line is there are things that are in my house every single week, right? A lot of the same shit. We always have eggs. We always have avocados. We always have certain things. I always have a big tub of spinach. Like, these are things that I always have blueberries. These are things that don't, that are not ever going to be in or not in my house, right? My pantry looks very much the same. And I think when there's a saying that when you keep good food in your house, you're going to eat good food. And that's so true because when you go to the grocery store, as well as I do, like we talked about it, like you go to the grocery store and you're fucking hungry, your chances of success start to plummet, right? And so I think that when you start to realize, okay, when I plan ahead and I know that I'm going to buy certain foods and I'm going to keep them in the house at all times, I know that I'm always going to have those kind of meals to lean into. I think that's what simplifies the process because the bottom line is the more simple it can be, the less overwhelming, the less frustrating it is. And the quicker you can put some of these things on autopilot, the quicker you're going to have success with it. And then you don't even have to think about it anymore. So I love that you went there, man. And so our grocery shopping trips sound very much aligned.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny that you mentioned all those groceries because literally I went to Costco yesterday and every single one of those things you mentioned, I have, except blueberries. We bought strawberries this time. That was in my rotation, like I was talking about, man.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, man. It's, I think people think, I think the problem is with people when it comes to nutrition and variety is people are so like they're on social media, right? And people, these fitness gurus, like we always like to say, right? They will always show you their most extravagant meal that took them way longer than usual to make. They took time to prepare it. They went the extra mile because they knew it was going to be on social media, right? But let's cut the bullshit, dude. Don't lie and act like every meal you make is that pretty and you put that much technique, that much time to do it. No, I call BS. Unless you're 21, not in school, don't have kids, not married, but that's not the reality for most of us, right? We're all busy. We're all dads.
Or you're Tom Brady and have like a personal chef.
Exactly what I was going to get to, right? Dude. That's exactly what I was going to get to. I said the only way that we can actually have that type of variety is if we cook as a passion alongside our job and maybe our kids help us or something. But for the vast majority of us, unless we can hire a personal chef, we're not going to have that type of variety just like that. It just takes way, way, way too much damn time, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'll tell you, man, and like this is what we teach, inside of the private program too, is like, it's that when variety has to come into play. Because look, I love variety too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I don't. But the amount of time that having variety takes is the hurdle. And so, we have this mentality of, it's I can't have it now, but I can have it later when it comes to, certain meals, like the cheat meal thing, right? So if I want to have a burger, I'm not going to have that on a Tuesday night because I know it's not going to fuel me for my workouts. I know that the reality is if I eat that, it's going to taste good, but I'm going to pay for it the next day. My gut is not going to be very happy with me. My energy levels are not going to be what they should be. And so that's not something that I'm going to do midweek when I'm trying to perform at a high level. But those are something that's something that I very much enjoy, hence the logo. And so when I want a burger and a beer, that's where the variety comes in for me. It's like, okay, I can dumb my nutrition down a little bit during the week, keep it a little bit more simple, keep it a little bit more basic. And when I say basic, like I'm not, some of my most favorite meals are some of my healthiest meals, but because of the way they make me feel. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I choose salmon, asparagus, and sweet potato, even though I love that meal. It's a very good meal, but I'm not going to choose that over burger, a nice juicy burger with a fried egg with some blackened fries, a couple beers, and an ice cream afterwards. Like that meal right there, that's my jam. But that's the reality is you can't have that every day and perform at a high level. And so when you're trying to find balance, you're trying to find a fine line between, okay, I still want to enjoy life. I still want those foods to be very much a part of my life. How can I have that, but still get healthy, still get results? Like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's like, okay, let's take a step back and figure out how we're going to make this even more simpler in our lives. And it goes back to like what you just said. You mentioned you got a lot of the same shit in your house as we do. The bottom line is you identify these foods that are going to fuel you properly. They're nutrient dense. They make you feel good. And then you start to sacrifice taste a little bit. I'm okay with sacrificing a little bit of taste to know that my body's being fueled properly. I'm going to perform very well at my workout the next day. I'm going to continue to get results. I'm going to continue to stay lean and healthy and have the energy that I do. I just think that those are the type of sacrifices that I'm willing to make.
Yeah. We talk about it often, man. Remember, we're like, pick your struggle, right? You're going to sacrifice a little bit of health, or are you going to sacrifice a little bit of taste? Pick your struggle, because no matter what you choose, it's going to be a struggle. Nothing is going to be super easy. The easiest thing to do is just let yourself go, but it's only easy until it's not, right? So you end up having to go to the damn, doctor once a month at least. But you know what? Let's flip the script, because, just recently I let you know I was traveling as well. I was visiting back home. It was Super Bowl. It was my birthday. I ate like garbage, dude. I ate like a damn dump truck, right? So let's flip the script for some of these guys, because I think a lot of people know what's healthy, what's not. They might not know what to eat, when to eat, how much of it to eat. But that's fairly available information, I guess we can say. But something that's super, super, super highly important that a lot of people overlook and don't talk about enough is momentum. And what do you do when you do have that burger on a random Tuesday and you're like, whatever, now I'm gonna eat this dessert? Or when people are doing they're starting their fitness journeys and they mess up or slip up a little bit, because I'll tell you, I ate like shit. I just told you, right? What do you suggest these guys do, man? Because a lot of them let it become an excuse and just become a slippery slope, and they just oh well, I messed up, I'll start maybe Monday. What do you suggest these guys do, man? Because I think that's a really important topic too.
Is like, right. This is you can use the comparison of just like a workout, right? So if we've talked about this a lot, but like I'm a 4-day-a-week guy right now. I got this damn arm injury that will not go away. I'm trying to avoid going to the doctor. It's been damn near a year now. So I cut out my Friday workout, which was an all arms workout for me with some cardio. And I was like, you know what? I can get more work done on Friday. I'm just going to cut that day out. So it eliminated a day of workout for me. Like, that's kind of important. I want to go back to the gym on that 5th day because it makes me thrive. That's how I feel my best. So I'm down to 4 days now. And if I miss a workout, like that starts to weigh on my conscience, right? We've talked about raising the floor on the show quite a bit, and having those minimum standards for yourself. Well, my minimum standard is 3 days a week. But if I miss a workout, it starts to weigh on me a little bit, but only because it's such a non-negotiable priority for me in my life. And so what I see a lot of people do, a lot of guys do, especially in the beginning of their journey, it's like they, that one missed workout or two missed workouts can easily become 2 weeks of missed workouts and then 2 months of missed workouts. And before you know it, it's been a year before you've been in the gym again. And that kind of shit pains me because you started off with some decent momentum and you self-sabotage. And I think the same thing holds true with nutrition is like, we are always searching for the perfect plan, right? And if you are not perfect, there's not a person out there that can't tell me that they're not harder on themselves than they are on their worst enemy. That's the reality is like, dude, like we're humans and we beat ourselves up over the dumbest shit sometimes. And I think to answer your question from my standpoint is when you have these meals, like you had a whole weekend that was filled with trash. I'm having that weekend this weekend, and I already know what's going to happen, right? We're traveling today, right? So we're recording this on a Friday. My family is traveling. We're gonna be on a 5-hour drive. Chances are I'm eating dinner on the road. Not chances. It is going to happen. We're probably going to stop at Chick-fil-A. I'm going to get too much food because I'm going to order the spicy chicken sandwich, probably a value-sized fry, large lemonade. Hell, I might even get a damn shake. I don't know, but I'm not. And I know going in, I'm going to do that. The next day, tomorrow, we're probably going to get up. My mother-in-law's birthday is this weekend or right around this weekend. So that's why we're going to San Antonio. And we're going to get breakfast tacos in the morning from some Mexican breakfast joint in San Antonio. And then that night, I think we're going to have fajitas. We're ordering fajitas. So it's going to be a day full of like white carbs and shit. And then we're hitting the road on Sunday and I'll be eating on the road again. And so you look at that, that's 3 days of just trash, right? Similarly to what you did when you travel. But I already know going in that it's going to happen. And I know that by Monday, I've developed the discipline long-term that I know that by Monday or even Sunday evening when we get back, it's back to my healthy eating, back to my routine so that I can start to perform at a high level again all week next week. And so I think where a lot of guys get caught up is like, okay, I've got this momentum. I'm doing really well. Maybe I've lost 3-4 pounds, or maybe I've lost 13 or 14 pounds. I'm doing well. I'm on a streak. And then, a random Tuesday comes up where, maybe you took the kids to practice or whatever. You get back late and you go through and you get fast food. And you're like, dude, I just ate fast food for the first time in a month. I'm so bummed out. I'm so depressed about it because I was doing so well and they just beat themselves up. And then the next day, it's like, you know what? I had fast food last night. Maybe I'll go through a McDonald's drive-through or Starbucks and get that, that sugar-filled Frappuccino or whatever. And you know what? I'll go ahead and add one of those pastries with it too. And now you see this, what they had as a positive compound effect happening with the momentum that they were building in the beginning now becomes a negative compounding effect because now that one bad choice starts to just swell. And I hate to see it. Because we are the best at self-sabotaging human beings, dude. That's just in our nature. That's what we do. We beat ourselves up. So that's my take, my man. What do you got?
Yeah, man. No, I asked you because I know you have a good take on it. And that was a good explanation. But I do like that you touched on. All right, this is what it is. This is what it's gonna be.
Yep.
I'm gonna enjoy this shit. I'm gonna enjoy this shit. And then you know what? I'm gonna get back on the horse and I'm just gonna keep on riding on like I've been doing. And I think that is so damn important for people to understand because when they mess up, like I said, it becomes a slippery slope. Like you said, you're just like that negative momentum starts building. Like, I messed up. I had this. So you know what? I'm going to have ice cream now. Like what? I don't get it. What do you mean? Like, the toothbrush analogy I like to do. Like I miss brushing my teeth. So you know what? In the morning, I'm just not going to brush my teeth. You know what? Since I didn't do it in the morning, I won't.
It's justifying one bad decision with another one, right? It's like
right. Two wrongs don't make a right, right?
Built-in leverage now because you messed up one time. So, I messed up one time. So I'm going to go ahead and justify another bad choice. And you do that twice, and that becomes 4, and then 8, and then 16,
becomes a pattern.
And then it just becomes a pattern again.
And then it becomes a pattern. And then when you do that pattern enough, it becomes a behavior. And when you do that behavior enough, it becomes your identity. And then when it becomes your identity, now you're just fat, overweight, you feel like crap, and you think that's just who you are. That's just who you are at the moment. Man. But just remember that when you can get there, you can also get back. So I think it's this is not even nutrition from a physiological standpoint. This is nutrition mindset, coming from a mindset, from a psychological standpoint. So what I think a lot of people fail to do is just take the goods and the bads as it is. And just, they don't just keep going. They let it affect them. I think people just need to understand that life's going to happen and birthdays are going to happen, celebrations, anniversaries, weddings, all these things are going to happen. Damn Super Bowl, man. This is America, right? It's going to happen. So we need to be able to just eat these foods, enjoy these foods, and understand that this is just, I guess you could say, a blip in the radar. It's not our lifestyle. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that we're finishing up this podcast on this note, because this is so, so, so important. Like I said, everyone knows what's good food, what's bad food.
Yeah.
But it's the mindset that really messes people up when it comes to this, because they just build that negative momentum and just feel like, okay, I messed up. I'm not starting till New Year's again.
It's and it's funny. I like that you said that, because here's the thing is, like, we get a lot of guys coming into our free group, right? And I think, and if you guys, if any of you guys listening are not in our free group right now, the link is going to be in the comments, but just go over to join.discussionswithdadsgroup.com and come join us. We do ask for your email and your phone number. And I'll just tell you, be transparent with you. We do send out a couple of reminders each week to let you know about our live streams so that you don't miss those. Those are on Wednesday nights. And we want to remind you about that so you can come and be part of the action. So the reason that I bring that up is because we get a lot of guys coming in there, they raise their hand for help, and what they think they need is a nutrition plan and a workout plan. We hear that so much, like, I need a meal plan and a workout. Well, the reality is do you really need a meal plan, or do you need to change your mindset? That's the question. Because if you need a meal plan, is it that you need a meal plan, or that you can't hold yourself accountable to follow a healthy eating pattern, right? Because I can hand you a meal plan all day long, but are you going to follow that shit, right? Like, no one's going to follow a meal plan. You might be able to do it for 2 weeks or something like that, right? That's not sustainable long-term. And so I hate that mentality, because it's like, okay, do you really think that you need a nutrition plan? Because I'll gladly hand you one. But the bottom line is, you're going to have to be disciplined enough to make these decisions on your own long-term. And so you might think that you need a nutrition plan. What you really need is a mindset shift, and developing the discipline and making nutrition a non-negotiable priority in your life, just like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. And when you do that, that's when the magic starts to happen, right? Because you think you need this meal plan. Well, like, you're not going to follow a rigid meal plan for the rest of your life. And you got to be able to make these decisions spontaneously, right? Like, Tuesday night comes around and you have the choices of, okay, it's late. What are we going to do? I'm either going to pull this drive-through, or you know what I could do? I could run over to Kroger. I could grab a rotisserie chicken, some of those little microwavable potatoes, pop those in the microwave for 5 minutes, get a steam bag of broccoli, and now you've got a meal that literally took you less than 5 minutes to prepare, 7 minutes, basically the same amount of time that it took you to get all the fast food out of the bag with your ketchup and all that shit set up. And now you've got a pretty healthy meal. Is it as good as if you made it fresh? Maybe not. But I mean, you still have a rotisserie chicken. You have a good protein source. You have some complex carbs if you get the little purple potatoes, and you got a vegetable source. That's a very healthy meal, especially when you consider the circumstances. And so I think so many guys, they get locked into this mentality of I need to be told exactly what to eat. It's not about having the perfect plan. It's about developing the discipline and the independence to start thinking outside the box and say, how am I going to make this work best for my situation?
Dude. Yeah, you should have ended it. You should have ended it there, dude.
Mic drop.
You should have ended that. You should have ended that shit right there.
Yeah, no,
that was it,
it,
man. I think wrapping up the whole mindset part of nutrition is funny, because nutrition, like you said, they think it's a perfect plan, but really it's a perfect mindset, dude.
Yeah.
We can give the world all meal plans. How many of them do you think is actually going to stick to it and hit their goals?
Very, very small percentage. I do feel like there are some people out there that have some knowledge to gain when it comes to nutrition. Sure. But we don't lack for information. We lack for application. And the bottom line is, you can go pull up all the nutrition information all day long on the internet, but until you can start making the connection in your mind of, okay, I already know what's healthy. How can I make myself disciplined enough to, maybe you adopt the mentality that we teach of the I can't have it now, I can have it later mentality, where you want that brisket or those ribs or whatever that looks like for you, push it back a little bit, make the sacrifice now so that you can feel good, you can perform at a high level tomorrow, and push that back a little bit later so that you can enjoy it and actually know that you earned it. That's my take. So.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Love it.
Mindset is just a powerful thing, dude. It's funny how we started with nutrition, what you eat, but now we're talking about what we think with our brains, right?
Yep. And they're very, very closely connected, as you well know, my man. So this is great. I think
the brain does everything.
No, 100%, dude. This is
Mm-hmm.
this will be a very valuable episode. If you got value out of today's episode, again, if you don't mind just dropping us a quick review, we greatly appreciate your support. And look, the bottom line is this: if you've got guys in your life that you feel like could benefit from the information, the motivation, the inspiration, the knowledge that we're cranking out on a weekly basis over here on the Dad Bod Pod, share it with a friend too, man. Like we want to continue to grow this community. And if you guys are not in our free Facebook group right now, if you want more information like this, more mindset stuff on a weekly basis, on top of the podcast, you could come see us live, interact with this. During our live stream, we answer any and all questions that come up in regards to men's health over in our free group, man. So come join us. Again, that's join.discussionswithdadsgroup.com. If you have any questions, man, you can always shoot me an email over at jason@dadbodhealth.com. Always happy to help you guys work through any challenges that you might be having. So thanks again for tuning in to this episode. We will see you back next week. You guys crush it this week, man. Don't make excuses. Take action now, and you can feel a hell of a lot better tomorrow just by taking a few simple steps today. So we want you to win on this show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. You guys have a fantastic week.